Young ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. Once again, you are warmly welcomed here on your beloved platform, the platform for awakening consciousness. Global geopolitics is taking another turn. Attempts at friendship are emerging, and attempts to destabilize these friendships are also arising. This parallel goes along with it. Russia stands alongside Iran, while America threatens Iran. Russia, the Russian State Duma, has received Iranian authorities to finalize an unprecedented military agreement. A military agreement that had not been revised since 2001. It is now that this agreement is being reviewed and is about to be signed. Meanwhile, America wants to backtrack. The military option now frightens America since Russia has risen. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the context of this video conference, this is what we are going to talk about. But before continuing, I ask you to share the video conference as much as possible. Allow other people to receive the information, since it is through sharing that people receive information. And you yourself were able to discover this page thanks to sharing. So, in turn, share as much as possible. So, let's dive deep, dear ladies and gentlemen. Global geopolitics, it makes one laugh. You need to master it. You need to know it. We need to know global geopolitics. We Africans must know it, master it. This is what allows us to make the right decisions. So, this Tuesday, April 8th, the Russian State Duma plans to ratify the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership Treaty between Russia and Iran. So, it will be signed today. And why today? Because Iran has put its army on maximum alert. Iran needs its allies more than ever. And to do this, Russia will not act just like that. Simply, the text must be very clear. The text must authorize Russia to assist Iran when Iran feels truly threatened or attacked. The 180-degree turnaround that the United States of America has just undertaken, this turnaround, obviously, can work, since America now wants to move towards negotiations. And we learned that, in fact, the talks should certainly begin today. But at any moment, everything can change in Donald Trump's mind, as we already know, as we are aware. Everything can change at any moment as soon as Donald Trump decides to adopt the military option. Therefore, Iran and its partners and allies must be on alert. They must be ready. So, according to what we learn, the treaty must be ratified. But this treaty had been signed by the president of both countries last January. This new treaty replaces the 2001 agreement, which had been extended several times. So there was already a treaty in place, and each time it was extended without changing the content. But this time it is the content that is substantially modified. So this means that the pact existing between Russia and North Korea, whose Article 4 resembles Article 5 of the NATO Charter, would imply that if one of these countries is attacked, both countries would be declared as attacked, and that these two countries would react collectively, simultaneously. So, we have the impression that these are such provisions, I must say. We have the impression, since we have not yet seen the content of the treaty, but we have the impression that it is the same content, that Russia and Iran, they want to replicate all things that would give Russia the latitude and fullness to intervene officially, legally, alongside Iran, in case Iran is attacked by any country. Here is also a situation that pushes America to retreat, since America is in a new strategy. It must be said clearly. We will come back to this. The new strategy adopted by America, we understand now, is that America wants to pit Russia against China. Since America is showing favor towards Russia, With customs duties, America refuses to tax Russia. But America taxes China with an exorbitant amount. China reciprocates. America raises the stakes. You can easily understand that Donald Trump, in his new policy, aims to oppose the two. Since the Western world was very opposed to the rapprochement between China and Russia. But Vladimir Putin is very clever. Vladimir Putin forms alliances with America's sworn enemies, notably North Korea and Iran. This is also another strong message sent to America to say, you may try to pit China and Russia against each other, but it won't work. And as Donald Trump is in a mindset of wanting to woo Russia, when Donald Trump learns that the treaty is being signed, being ratified between Russia and Iran, Donald Trump retreats, attempts to negotiate. But negotiations on Iran's terms. Since Iran has said that the country cannot negotiate directly with the United States of America, and it is out of the question, an intermediary is needed. And the intermediary is the state of Oman, the government of the state of Oman. And this is what America was forced to accept. So, let's dive deeper. But Russia and Iran are scaring America by signing this new treaty. And so, according to the information, the work on the document we are talking about, which is being ratified, which will be ratified on April 8th, were the documents. There you go. The work on the current document began 4 years ago, for 4 years, but they were just toying with it. It took the pressure being on Iran for these two to take action. So, it's been 4 years, but this time they want closer cooperation, especially in the military field. Already, very close cooperation in the military field has already taken place. There you go. Within the framework of the conflict that Russia is conducting on the side of Ukraine, as you know, the Shahed missiles. It is Iran that provided them to Russia. Iran even transferred the patent for its Shahed missile construction technology to Russia. They even sent their technicians to help the Russians set up the Shahed drone manufacturing plant. And when we talk about the Shahed drones, it is only Iran that has them, at least to my knowledge. And they are the most powerful drones. Among the most powerful drones in the world, the Shahed drones are included. So, this cooperation is there. So, therefore, Iran had started sending its drones, but this time, in the end, Iran decided to give the patent, to give Russia the ability to produce them itself. So, Vladimir Putin and the Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian signed this treaty of 47 articles shortly before Donald Trump's return to the White House. So, in January, they signed. Something was to be expected. The document stipulates that a case of attack against Donald Trump was signed. Against one party, the other is not obliged to provide military assistance. It only commits to not supporting the aggressor and to promoting a resolution based on the United Nations Charter and international law. So, that's what was planned. Now they are going to move on to other bases, and we'll see if they will maintain the same base or add others. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that was one of the international news stories. Thank you for your contribution. I'll be back shortly with more news. This was the voice of your one and only samurai.